Good morning. My name's Tomlin Sherry and this is Chocolate Avenue Baking Company. Now, I have an almost irrational obsession with snack cakes in general, and I've had that obsession since I was a little kid, finding these national brands in my lunchbox. Have been in love with these brands ever since. I will not ever speak ill of any of these brands because I love them all, as I'm sure many of you do too. But there are differences in the different snack cakes that are widely available. I have 4 of the major American brands at least available in the Hershey, Pennsylvania area. I'm pretty sure these are all nationally available. These are coffee cakes. Now, if you're a gourmet coffee lover like I am, I'm sure you probably have had all of these because nothing, in my opinion, goes better with a really good cup of coffee than coffee cake. And we're also going to be doing a separate video, my next video, on my alternative to these. But before we get into that video, which I'll probably be shooting a little bit later today, or maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But what I thought I would do is I would go and get the top coffee cake, snack cakes, and we're going to do a taste test comparison of these 4 brands. Today I have Drake's coffee cakes, I have Entenmann's coffee cakes, I have Hostess coffee cakes, and I have Tasty Cake, 2 different variations. Picked up one of these juniors in their cupcake variety, cream-filled cupcake, Tasty Cake. We're going to judge these 4 coffee cakes on 4 different criteria, and that is packaging and product appearance, aroma, how do they smell out of when you take them out of the wrapper, taste and texture, we'll do the taste test last, and the ingredients list. Now, as I said, I have an almost irrational obsession with these brands. And just like the Hershey brands, which I'll always love the most, these brands have been around for a long time and they're iconic. So I refuse to speak ill about them. I love them all. But there were subtle differences in the ingredients list. It's no surprise that these types of packaged sweets are let's just say they don't have the healthiest ingredients list. As if you've been following my channel, I'm sure you already know that I'm into organics. I like making my baked goods for my bakery as healthy as possible and organic, so less toxic, better for you. But these brands are sacred. So, but however, I did go through and I counted the ingredients list and did a little bit of research into what exactly is going into these 4 brands. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what about Little Debbie's coffee cakes, right? That's got to be, a huge thing too that should be compared in here. And believe me, I tried to get my hands on some Little Debbie's coffee cakes. I went to, yesterday I must have gone to 4 major grocery stores. I went to a 7-Eleven, went to 2 different Turkey Hill convenience stores, which is a big chain in my area, and no luck at all. So I came back and I started doing some research, and here Little Debbie's no longer makes their streusel cinnamon coffee cakes. And I remember them and they were pretty good, so I was really bummed out about that. So write Little Debbie's a letter and ask them to bring back their coffee cakes because we love them. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to judge these on the ingredients list that I found. And surprisingly, out of these 4 brands, the Drakes came out on top. They had 28 ingredients in their coffee cake, as compared to the Entenmann's had 40, and the Hostess also had 40, and the Tasty Cake came in a little better at only 34. So, as I'm sure you're probably aware, the less ingredients, probably the better. So I can't give any of these, after looking into some of the ingredients, which I won't even go into here, I can't give any of these a passing score. So the Entenmann's gets a fail, Hostess fail, Tasty Cake fail, and I'm going to give the Drakes, though, a 1, because by just reading the ingredients list, these do seem to be a little more natural of a product, which I like. And this is obviously just my personal opinion. I'm not slamming anyone. I'm just going to judge it. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. All right. So the next thing we're going to do here is going to go down the list, and starting alphabetically, and that's the order that we're going here. I'm going to first look at the Drake's packaging. And I have to say, with the Drake's packaging, I'm not a huge fan. I think when it comes to a coffee cake, I like more traditional packaging, like colors, and it'd be nice to see something different than this. To me, this doesn't look really great as far as packaging goes. So I'm not going to give this a high mark on packaging. However, little snack cakes do look very tasty. So we'll see how we go here. Now, the Entenmann's, out of all of these, I think I like the Entenmann's packaging the best, because you got some little cinnamon sticks there, which I associate with a great coffee cake, obviously, and got the packaging looks very cool. So on packaging, the Entenmann's for me does it. The appearance of the product, obviously with coffee cakes, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about the streusel. This does not appear to have a great deal of streusel on it, where the Drake's does have a nice amount of streusel on there. So, okay, we'll move on. Now, Hostess, they got the cinnamon stick, and it's got the swirlies there, so slightly better than the Drake's, but again, you have the bright colors there. I'm not huge on that. But you can open this here if we can figure out how this opens. Here we go. To get a little bit rough with that. So packaging, not good, not super easy to get open, that's for sure. Okay, so this is the Hostess. It's a very fine green streusel there. Not a huge fan of the way that looks, but we'll see how it tastes. And then finally, I can't really judge the junior because I just picked this up at the little convenience store because I thought of these. I remember these fondly, so I'm not going to judge the packaging on that because it's just, you know, a little individual that was at the coffee bar. But the Tasty Cake packaging's a little better. I love the cream. I think a great coffee cake can certainly tolerate some whipped cream in there. I think that's a nice addition. None of the other snack cakes have that. So let's see how these little coffee cake cupcakes look. And like I said, for me, it's all about the streusel, really. So they look nice and moist. There's some nice chunks of streusel on top of there, so a little better. So I have to say, in terms of packaging alone, I'm going to give the win probably to the Entenmann's as far as the packaging itself. So I'll give the Entenmann's the 5 on that. We're going to go 1 to 5. Judge these 1 to 5. So for the packaging, Entenmann's gets the 5. Hostess gets the 4. Tasty Cake gets the 3. And the Drake's, unfortunately, gets the 2 on that. Okay, so moving on then to the Aroma section of the yes, the Drake's does have a nice natural cinnamon coffee cake. It's exactly as you would expect it to smell. The cinnamon just really hits you. Moving on to the Entenmann's. Again, probably smell. That smells better than the Entenmann's slightly, so we'll give so far the smell is the Drake's. The aroma of these is important when you're opening packaging, and let's say you're getting ready to dunk these in coffee. You want that, beautiful cinnamon smell. That smells really good. But so far, my nose is telling me the Drake's is the one I don't know. The Drake's and the Hostess are pretty close. Those both, that might be a tie there on the Aroma. Tasty Cake. Last but not least, that Tasty Cake doesn't have a great deal of awesome aroma. The Junior, they both smell, these are both Tasty Cake. I don't know, I'll have to say, yeah, the Drake's takes the 5 on the smell, for sure. Yeah, the Drake's takes the 5 on the smell, on the aroma. So as far as aroma goes, the Drake's definitely gets the 5. Hostess gets the 4. And then I'd have to say the Entenmann's gets the 3. And the Tasty Cake gets the 2. On that. Alright, so then is the taste test. Here's a close-up of how all of these look. And I'm going to zoom in on each one of these just so you can get a better idea of the texture and the streusel topping. There's the drakes. And this one here is the Entenmann's. And then right there is the Hostess. And Tasty Cake. That's all that. So now I'm going to take my handy dandy chef's knife here and we'll start with the drakes. And really, I should be dunking these in coffee, but I'm going to go ahead and just try each one of these. This is the drakes. A little bit of that streusel there. I'll tell you what, that's a good, very good, natural tasting coffee cake to me. Which is, I would expect, you know, reading the ingredients. Okay, so for the Entenmann's, I'm just going to take a little corner of that. And there's the texture on that. The Entenmann's is much more, to me, this just more or less tastes like vanilla cake. It's good. I would not turn away an Entenmann's coffee cake. It just doesn't resemble what I think of as a coffee cake as much. The texture of it is a little different. So then for the Hostess, take off a little corner there. Oh yeah, now you can see a nice swirl in there. That's really nice, right? Oh wow. Wow. Mm-hmm. Definitely the Hostess is soft, but yet it's got the nice crunch of the brown sugar streusel and swirled inside. That is good. Really good. I don't know. This is going to be hard to judge, right? It's tasty cake, coffee cake, cupcake. You can see it's got some of the cream in the center there. A little bit of the streusel on top. So we'll give this one a shot. Again, to me, this is more like cake. It's not what I think of as a coffee cake. Again, it's really good. all these coffee cakes are awesome. I mean, if you have a good cup of coffee, this is what you want, right? I mean, that's delicious, but it's just not. When I think of coffee cake, I think of something different. But you know, I'm a pastry chef, so all right. As far as the junior goes here, this is more like a come like these rectangles like this. There's no cream in this one in the juniors. Mm-hmm. It's got that classic tasty cake taste. Again, it's not what I think of with coffee cake. Okay, when I'm trying these, I'm comparing these to the type of coffee cakes that I make, and so that's what I have in my mind. What I'm trying to compare it to. So I'm going to say, let me just try one more bite of this Drake's. Another bite of the Hostess. Yep. Okay, I've made my decision. Hostess definitely number one as far as the flavor of it. To me, with the swirl in it and the brown sugar streusel on top, top dog right there. Taste wise, the Hostess cinnamon streusel coffee cake. You know, who could go wrong with any of these? But if I had to taste test this, I'm going to say Hostess gets the 5. Okay? Hostess gets the 5. Drake's gets the 4. Tasty Cake gets the 3. And the Entenmann's gets the 2. Okay, so that's the totals there. Now we're going to total each of these and see who wins. I suck at math. Okay. And the winner is, overall, Drake's. And I've heard other people say that as well with the on some other taste test reviews that I've seen, the Drake's does seem to come out on top a lot. And I have to concur. Overall, the Drake's is the winner with 12 points. The next one up is the Entenmann's, and that's based on the packaging. I think they put some effort and thought into that. The product looks fantastic in the packaging. I love the packaging to it. It's like an old-fashioned traditional packaging. However, it fell short in the taste. Okay, so my opinion, you know, the Hostess came out on top for the taste. My opinion. Your mileage may vary. The Tasty Cake got the 8. That's, I don't know, overall, Tasty Cake, to me, the cupcake and the junior just taste like really good, tasty cake. with some streusel on top. It doesn't have a lot of the elements that I think of and that I really love with the textures that you can get from a great coffee cake. So there you have it. I still got to give the, even though the Drake's does come out on top, the flavor of the Hostess coffee cake, yeah, these are really the tasty one for me. So thank you for joining me today, and look for that next video. I'm going to show you the absolute ultimate, hands down, the original classic European coffee cake. And we'll get to that coming right up. So look for that video. Thanks a lot for joining me.